Hello, travelers. Welcome to the Copper Fox Inn. Come on in, take a seat, and join us as we discuss Homebrew for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. My name is Thomas the Human Bard, and I am joined today by...
Mercy the Tiefling Wizard.
Onog the Half-Orc Barbarian.
And Bean the Rock Gnome Rogue. Man, guys, it's so good to be back. Have you been wondering, what kinds of crazy adventures have been going on? I have so many stories to tell.
Didn't we find you last week?
Well, I've been gone.
I mean,
Well, yeah.
I was gone last week, but no one's asking me what I was up to. I mean, I guess you know because you rescued me. But...
We did rescue you.
Yeah.
I
But
never
that was a
noticed any
side
of you were
quest.
missing. But I do want to thank you all for being here. And with that, the first thank has been given. The day of reckoning is upon us. The giving of thanks can commence. Everyone, go around. Give me one thing you're thankful for about Dungeons & Dragons.
I thought you were going to say about this year, and I was like, I can't.
Look, I'm not going to do that to you. No, about
like,
Dungeons
that's
&
not gonna
Dragons
happen,
in
buddy.
general. You know, in general. Mercy, you're first, yeah.
I'm thankful that people make so much good homebrew stuff so that even when Wizards of the Coast does not fill every niche of my heart that I need to be filled with fantasy and whimsy, someone else in the community has created exactly what I'm looking for.
It's kind of
Every time.
Our whole thing here. We're very thankful
Kind of
about
our
that.
whole brand.
Yeah. Oh, Nog, how about you? What are you thankful for about D&D?
Yeah, now that I stole that one.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best tank is the apparatus of Qualish. It's a legendary item that you can crawl inside.
Tankful for? Is that what you
Yeah, that's the best tank in... Oh. I'm ashamed.
I thought the best tank
It's not
in
even a
D&D.
good pun.
I thought the best tank in D&D was the one you could store your merfolk for.
Sorry, actually the best tank in D&D is the one they made for,
Oh, he's having a stroke right now.
the new book, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Tasha's hideous cauldron of laughter.
Tasha's hideous
That's
cauldron.
what it always is in my brain when I remember
That's
it.
what I call it every time.
There's a super murder tank that it takes 2 people to pilot, and it's amazing, and I love
That's
it.
pretty good.
I thought that the best tank in D&D was you, Onog.
Yes, but
Nice.
I'm underappreciated in that role.
Every artist is underappreciated in their
Actually,
time.
unironically, no matter what race or class I am playing, I am usually the party tank, whether or not I am a barbarian, a monk, or a wizard.
Yeah. All right, Bean, how about you? What are you thankful for?
Well, I don't have, I have this French coin. I have a franc I can give you, and then put a Foley sound of like a coin hitting a table.
What?
Frank?
She's not giving thanks. She's
I'm giving
francs.
What?
This went
Okay,
in a weird,
whatever.
this went in a weird direction I wasn't expecting. All right, well, I
Everyone was
appreciate...
No, I have something to be thankful for. I really do.
I
I'm
appreciate
thankful
your
for-
offering to our budget for the year.
Yeah.
Thank you. One
Also
franc.
considering that France doesn't use those anymore. I am thankful for the bonds and friendship that D&D inspires, and I'm really thankful that it creates this place where you can deal with both fun things and hard things and kind of get to practice being a different version of yourself and get to practice being the version of yourself that you've always wanted to be.
Nice.
It helped me discover that at first I thought we should destroy the necromancer, but maybe I want to be the necromancer, you know?
Nice. Good for you.
I feel like
Mercy.
that's everyone's first character and then their 5th character. You know?
I'm thankful for bonus actions. Today on the show, we're going to be discussing, without bonus actions, what would a bard even do?
That's fair.
What would a bard even
I'm
do?
a fighter. What is that?
Excuse me, who is that?
Who?
Bonus actions never matter.
I'm a ranger. I would like more than one, please.
True. So, today's episode, we've got a double feature for you. I have made a new friend in town,
Hey.
oddly fitting for this time of year.
It's weird how this keeps happening.
Just as happens. Well, I'm a
Oh,
bard.
no,
I
it's
make a
never
lot of
weird.
friends.
It's never weird to make friends.
Never mind. Continue.
So he was telling me about I'm not doing a voice for this one. He was telling me every time I bring a race, there's a moment, a critical moment in the episode where I
Yeah.
decide, am I doing a voice for this character? Today I've decided no.
Okay, I'll just be quiet over here then.
No, don't. Please, Mercy, don't set up a precedent you can't fulfill.
No, that's not
I'm
Mercy.
not saying anything.
That's also not what they would sound like, I don't think. This is the Torkai race.
Oh, come on.
Yes.
The Torkai race, who resemble turkey people.
So excited.
I feel like the voice that I wasn't
was
doing,
very
but
good.
that the person had was kind of a turkey gobble.
Well, no, it was, but the problem is that I don't think you know actually what this race is, because
No, I don't.
they are not what you would normally think of as like a. They probably wouldn't talk like this because they are 6 feet tall and 300 pounds.
Okay.
So,
I'm just gonna
So we'll
throw
get-
out here. I want to play a Torkai, and then I want to be a Way of the Hand monk, because then you're a hand Torkai.
and you can use your key points, which you might be able to.
Turkey points.
Turk.
Turkey? What tur?
I don't know.
You could take people on a tour of your key points. But you have to multi-class into rogue so that you can turn keys.
There we go.
This
Not
is
worth
the
it.
worst.
God, I
hate
think we've
this.
all been
You
having
make
a stroke.
one pun and then it all
guys,
goes downhill.
when we try to do like campy themed episodes, are they bad?
Yeah.
I think they're
No.
bad.
I think it started when Onog tried to make a pun, and then a curse was placed upon the whole
Curse fell
party.
upon us all.
I was trying to protect you for so long, guys.
This race was created by user Vicious Kill, or at least posted by them. They also posted that they have a website, Adventures Await Studios.
We'll link to that.
Yeah, and we'll link to that in the comments. Or we'll link to that in the description of the video down below. But Vicious Kill posted to r/unearthed arcana on Reddit. And the Torkai race, the flavor description is as follows. While the Aarakocra rule the skies, it is the Torkai who rule the roost.
Yes.
An offshoot of their winged cousins, the Torkai stand a solid 6 feet tall and can weigh in excess of 300 pounds.
Heck yeah.
Being flightless, because they're like, I mean, turkeys
They
sort
are
of can fly,
incredibly
but
heavy for a
Well,
flying
wi-
animal.
Wild turkeys can definitely fly.
yeah, at least up a tree. I've seen that.
Yeah.
But being flightless, they've learned to use their great size as both a weapon and a shield against any who might provoke them. Hardy and boisterous, the Torkai live life to excess. Many centuries ago, their kind was ritually culled by an ancient barbarian race every year.
Awful.
Well, it's, for the holidays. But
Like,
now...
it's upsetting when you give them sentience.
Yeah, it is.
But
Now,
the leader of that barbarian race would pardon one each year.
Yes,
Kind of makes
As
it
a
more
strange
morbid.
show of power.
yeah.
It makes it worse.
You I will not kill. Now, even... tell my
You
story.
You must tell the others.
Now, even though that race is long extinct, the Torkai live life to the fullest each day. It is Torkai custom that on the day a young snood, an adolescent Torkai, reaches maturity, it must participate in a grand celebration. These parties can go on for days, even weeks sometimes, only ending when the celebrant finally passes out from exhaustion.
Heck yeah.
Dude, picture a quinceañera where you can only go home when they pass out.
I'm just saying right now, Ben Franklin is bopping in his grave right now as he's
Yeah,
doing this.
this is
because
his dream.
he loved turkeys and he loved to party. So
That's
he's
very
just
true.
all about these boys.
I think he would play one, yeah. Food and drink play an important role in Torkai society. Many of their most honored members are artisan chefs and master brewers. Even the most uncivilized of their brood can cook a feast fit for a king if given the right ingredients. Adventuring is a common calling among their kind, their short lifespan encouraging seeing as much of the world as possible. Most mercenary companies or adventuring groups have at least one Torkai member, if only to improve the quality of their daily meals.
Well, that's quite the world building.
Here's the thing.
Insert.
That last sentence could be construed that the Torkai cooks for them.
Oh no.
Or,
No.
Oh no.
Thomas.
I'm just saying.
Oh my goodness.
So it's a turkey race, but it's like a chonk turkey race. You know what I mean?
Chunky
Like,
boys.
It's
this is
all
like the
chonky.
Goliath of turkey races. Like, this is the big boy. is. Whereas the Aarakocra is kind of the medium flying, can do a lot of useful stuff. And then the Kenku is like the small, dexterity-based one. This is that chonker, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ability score increase. Your constitution score increases by 2, and your charisma score increases by 1. Age. Torkai reach maturity by age 10. Compared to humans, Torkai don't usually live longer than 60 years. Alignment. Most Torkai are good and lean towards the chaos that a life on the road brings. While some more disciplined Torkai may lean into the order that comes from being a craftsman. Size. Torkai about 6 feet tall. They have large, rotund bodies with rolls of flesh hanging about, which is a terrible sentence. Your size is medium.
That made me feel good about myself.
Yeah, here's the
Thomas,
problem.
and my rolls of flesh.
Yeah, here's the problem. There's
hang
nothing
about?
wrong with the body type they described.
No.
They just described it in the worst possible
That's
way.
fair.
No. Rolls of flesh hanging about is a butcher's shop, not a body.
Yeah, that's bad.
Speed. Your base walking speed is 30 feet. Noticeably, no flight speed. As it said earlier, they are flightless. So, for some circles, I mean, Aarakocra, they don't like them because they can fly. They're banned from, like, league play and all that. Well, maybe this is a fun bird race that you can use if you don't want that. Culinary Master. You gain proficiency with brewer's supplies and cook's utensils, and gain advantage on any check made to use either.
Nice.
Nice.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
And this is a question that has been posed to humans before, right?
Yeah.
The Torkai are apparently incredibly good cooks. Do they know that they are delicious?
Oh no.
It's sort of the human being like, what if we're delicious?
Well, here's
And
the
we
thing.
don't. And we you both said at the same time.
Yeah, because guess what? I also know that humans taste like pork, right? Theoretically,
sure, something like
reportedly.
that,
and
yeah.
guess what
Well,
pork is?
you believe
Delicious.
that. You don't know that.
You don't. There's no way to know for sure.
I
They're
expect
actually-
the Torkai can safely assume. Well, here's the other question: is turkey actually delicious? It's probably the least delicious meat.
Wow, a hard take from Mercy on
yeah,
turkey.
I
I'm
agree.
on Mercy's team with
No.
this one.
Yeah.
Of all the edible birds, the turkeys are the
Wow.
least of such.
All
Turkeys,
three of you.
Meh.
Like
Wow.
I would
Tastes
take
like
I would
mush.
take a
They're kinda
chicken
dry.
over turkey any day.
I could also fight a chicken over a turkey any day.
Well,
and
that's
would take
true.
it.
I am literally making chicken instead of turkey for Thanksgiving.
Heck
this year,
yeah.
'cause
Well, that's because you're not a true patriot, but. Strong stomach. You gain advantage on any constitution saving throw made as the result of ingesting something.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
love
like
that.
Yet again, a personal shout out to my favorite thing. Advantage on skill checks or saving throws for specific reasons.
Yeah.
Not any constitution saving throw.
encouraging a style of play.
Yeah,
Like if
any
they were hit by a
regarding
contact poison, they wouldn't benefit from this. But if they swallowed a poisonous tree frog, they'd be
Yeah.
fine.
Or if you're like,
Guys-
oh no, the glowing gem, we have to hide it, and the turkey's like, I've got it, and just like swallows it.
It's like, well, make a constitution saving throw to see if you can keep it down, or if you throw it back up. It's like, guys, I've got this.
I've
So
got
I
this.
have an issue, a
Oh, yes.
complaint.
Sorry.
I hesitate to even bring this up
In front of our.
in mixed company.
Yes.
Whoa.
But what that ability did immediately make me think of was like stuffing in a turkey.
Oh my god.
No.
And that's like upsetting.
That's not. You don't.
I will
ingest
say,
that-
I was about
Yeah.
to say, I'm mad that that ability is called strong stomach and not either stuff it down or one hell of a gobbler.
I like that. My
That's
thought was
actually
like,
pretty
oh
good.
no, I hate that it's similar to that. And Bean was like, oh man, I wish it was more
wish it
similar.
was
I
more
wish it was
automatically
more of that.
Okay. Here's the next ability is interesting. So in the flavor text here, and then in some of the comments on the post, they mention the whole vibe is that this is a sort of in a lot of like kung fu movies, especially, you get the very large kind of high body weight character who when
the
you
dragon.
punch them a lot, it doesn't affect them, and then they
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like bounce back, kind of like Poe in Kung Fu Panda, where you hit him and he like does his whole body waves away from you, but then bounces back like a punching bag.
Delightful,
Yeah, they just
So this-
sit up and then you're flung.
Yeah. So this is the
What
natural.
do you think all those rolls of flesh are hanging about for?
Exactly. This is the natural brawler. Whenever you take bludgeoning damage from a melee attack, you may roll 1d12 and reduce the damage suffered by the result. The negated damage is then dealt back to the attacker as bludgeoning damage.
Heck
Once,
yeah.
once you use this feature, you cannot use it again until you take a long or short rest. Short or long rest, but good at it.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, the flavor being, you can choose when to do it, right? Like you can say this is the time when it will matter the most, is because it's my last 5 hit points or whatever. But you roll that, and it's like your rolls of flesh absorb the blow, and then you kind of like pop back out and hit him in the face. Yeah,
I like it.
I like the vibe of it. It's fun. It's a
Is this like about how you fight with your family on Thanksgiving?
man.
What?
I don't think all of the abilities are actually about Thanksgiving. I think I was just doing a bit.
Then why is it for our Thanksgiving episode,
It's a
Thomas?
turkey person. Look at the art. They have a large
Ladle.
ladle. Thank you. I couldn't remember the word ladle for a second there. Languages. You can speak, read, and write Common, Torkai, and Orin, which is Aarakocra lingo.
It's the
Bird
air
language.
version of primordial.
Yes, correct.
Is
Yeah.
Orin, but yeah, or
Which is
Aarakocra
like-
also speak it.
Yeah, which is like, are the bird folk primordials? Like, what is
No,
the
they just
connection
speak the
there?
language of the air and the wind.
Yeah,
I mean,
know.
yeah.
It's a weird connection.
Okay, this is not a. So first of all, I have to say, I freaking love this.
This is amazing.
It's so good, and it's actually very well balanced for a race. I like their cool abilities. I like their specific stuff. This is just a very small thing, and it's not the problem of this. It's a problem that everyone does with Aarakocra, where they don't live long lives. And anyone who's ever owned like a parrot will know that they live to be like 90 years old.
That's true. A lot of birds.
It depends on the
can.
bird, yeah.
Yeah.
Some birds, some like other smaller birds, don't live nearly as long.
Here's my random general opinion.
Thanks. Yeah, that's what this show's all about.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Unqualified, uneducated general opinions. That's what we all
I
do.
just want to say, as someone who
Yeah.
is not a professional game designer, has no experience
Yes.
in game design or TTRPG writing, I would just like to say that personally,
What are you doing?
I don't love when different player races, and when I DM or play them myself, I kind of just ignore it. I don't love it when they have like weird ages that they reach maturity and lifespans.
It does just make roleplay stuff weird and
And
complicated.
it makes it a little weird and complicated. I think especially, and it's this thing where it's like when in our group of friends that we all play D&D with, we don't do a lot of like D&D the dating sim.
Yeah, romancing.
But if you did, I don't want to think about like, well, technically he's 10, but he's an adult for a Torkai. But does he only have
Some
10
real-
years of life experience? Like, I don't want to
Some
deal
real
with
anime
that.
nonsense.
Like, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
don't want to go into these uncomfortable
getcha.
gray areas of consent and maturity. And here's like a thing too. This has been like,
This is.
I am just going
These,
off.
well, these points are not wrong or like invalid by any means. This is a very funny homebrew to be bringing it up on.
Here are my
Let's
serious
talk about
thoughts
consent.
about game design.
Well, real quick, hold
talk
up.
about consent.
Turkey race, 1 second. Let's talk about the age of consent.
But I do think this is actually topical because
Yeah.
there's been a lot of discussion with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, specifically
Hideous
around
cauldron of laughter and everything.
Tasha's Hideous Cauldron of Laughter. There's been a lot of discussion around kind of like inherent racism in a lot of like D&D publications. And one small thing, certainly not, I want to make this clear, the biggest and most overt form of inherent racism in D&D, but a small thing that I think does kind of contribute to it is giving races longer and shorter lifespans, because when you see how much longer an elf lives and an orc is short-lived, I do think that it kind of plays into this idea that they're a superior, more like evolved, advanced race if
Yeah.
they're long lived. And so it makes me uncomfortable to be like, these races that have cultural trappings that are pretty racist and like Western imperialist are shorter lived, almost bestial. It's like really
Yeah, it's
uncomfortable
kinda
to
gross.
me.
Yeah, I
and
get
so
you.
I kind of prefer if we can just pretend that we're all like the same ages
Fair enough.
I mean,
and lifespans.
here's sort of my idea behind that is like there are alternate rules in D&D about like dealing with long rests or injuries or survival. Like you can basically play sort of on hard mode, dealing with real world consequences more.
Yeah.
And I think that like if you want to play with the like lifespan and age cycle of different races as part of your D&D world, I think that that could be sort of like an alternate rule set.
Like a slider you can turn on
Yeah.
and off.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I get you.
Like,
yeah.
As
In-
opposed to it
in-
being the default.
Yeah, in a standard even campaign, the age of something only ever really comes up if, and now this is something though, being shorter lived is a severe hindrance if your characters are magically aged for whatever reason. Because I was looking up something. Yeah, there's some ghosts that can magically age you up to like 30 years.
Or
which if your Torkai is 30, could instantly kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like cursed items.
Yeah,
right?
cursed items that do that and
Yep.
things like that. But normally outside of that, age range isn't a thing.
matter,
But as
right?
you guys know, in the campaigns I run like when I start a campaign, I randomly decide, oh, this is 300 years in the future from the last time we played a campaign in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you still get to run into certain characters because they're elves, you know?
Yeah.
They're elves or dwarves. You run into those characters again and you're like, hey, wait a minute. Shouldn't they have died? But then you have to run into the grandchildren of various other orcs or things like that because they didn't live that long.
I think basically when you make a campaign and when you're playing with your friends, just sit down with everyone and decide, okay, how long are you, because maybe you, at the end of a campaign you do like flash forward 20 years or something. But like,
Yeah.
just decide amongst yourselves, is the age range or maturity growth cycle of races, like how much do we want to pay attention to
Is that uniform, or are we going with the
Yeah.
like distinct for each race?
Yeah,
Yeah, because I'm not saying that everyone has to play it that way, but for me personally, it makes me kind of uncomfortable in certain ways. So when I DM, like I'm like, in my world, everyone lives to be like 90-ish. That's
Well,
it.
and
Elves are particularly long-lived. They live to 95.
yeah, I prefer to lean like they tend
Yeah.
to live to like 100.
Well, and then it brings up a very interesting kind of interaction we've run into in one of the campaigns I'm running, where a character who was playing like a 50-year-old woman got killed and was reincarnated, but she was reincarnated as an elf. So she's a
Right.
50-year-old elf, so she's a mature, elderly, almost, a middle-aged human. But all the elves around her are like, no, you're like a baby. What are you doing?
Yeah, they
It's-
basically
it's
treat her
always,
like a
like, felt-
teenager.
Felt weird to me in roleplay too, when it's like I'm playing like my first ever D&D character. I was like, I want her to be kind of like a late teens, so she's like 80.
As an elf.
But so I was role playing her maturity level as like a teenager, but she has 80 years of lived experience. Like it's just kind of
It's
weird
weird.
to me.
It is weird.
And this is a weird episode to have this
This is
conversation
a great
on.
conversation, perhaps for a side
I
quest
almost
at
feel
some
like we have
point.
to release this conversation separately.
So here,
on
I
our
really
Patreon
love
for $50 a month.
I love this race. I love the art too. Shout out to the art. The art's by splatteredink.com.
Very good.
It's so good. I would love to maybe see like something to do with their waddle. Like, do they have a waddle attack and you can slap someone with it?
Oh, 1 second. Wait a minute. Hold that idea for just a second, me. Because I told you this was a double feature.
Oh.
We're reviewing something else today, too.
Oh.
The other thing we're reviewing today... Okay, so yes, thank you so much to Vicious Kill for this Torkai race. Very fun. As we, keep doing the show longer and longer, we'll keep getting more and more holiday-themed player races, and we've got to at some point do like an all-holiday one-shot where somebody is a mythical elf from the Northlands who has like a series of elves that work for them. Somebody else is a Torkai, somebody's a rabbit folk who's hiding eggs everywhere, and we'll do a one-shot holiday special.
Yeah.
But Who will we fight? What monsters can we fight? I was thinking perhaps,
Krampus.
instead of the old goblins and hobgoblins like usual, what if we fought goblins and hobgoblins?
No.
See,
Hold on.
there's more B's in the second one.
Oh.
Goblins,
Goblins.
and hobgoblins.
Yes.
Yes. You getting this?
Yeah, you picking up
Everyone, you
what I'm
getting
picking
this?
up? This was posted to r/unearthed arcana by user Ari Pakali. Thank you for posting this. They have a Patreon link that we'll put down in the description below. And the art credits go to Dario Jelusic and Jiva for
Hold
the
on.
Goblin
The art
and
on this is so. Can we talk about the
Hobgoblin.
lower left turkey? That is a sexy turkey.
That is not a turkey.
beautiful.
That is a goblin.
Goblin.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a
get it
sexy
right.
goblin.
I'm
Okay.
obsessed with the fact that the hobgoblin has like green smoke coming out of its nostrils.
Yeah, it's very good.
Jeez.
Maybe all you adventurers are tired of fighting goblins and hobgoblins in caves every time you set foot outside your hometown.
I'm so tired.
If you, yeah, I'm so.
Can you read
Honestly,
this more like an infomercial?
honestly, I am so tired.
Now there's just black and white shots of adventurers fighting goblins and going like wow and like dropping their
I'll
sword.
do the infomercial voice. Wait, which kind of infomercial? Am I doing like a Billy Mays type, or am I doing the like neutral?
Aggressive infomercial or like friendly infomercial?
Yeah, am I doing the neutral?
Friendly. I think it's a friendly one because it's for monsters.
Are
It's an
you
ad for
tired?
monsters.
Are all you adventurers tired of fighting goblins and hobgoblins in caves every time you set foot outside your hometown?
Uh-huh.
Well, if you're bored encountering the same old enemies, why not replace them with turkeys?
Wow.
Tell me more.
Turkeys! Wow! Foul beasts, hobgoblins rule over goblins in local forests around small towns. Despite their small size, goblins have the advantage of large numbers. They raid small caravans and travelers in search of food and anything shiny. Once a year, townsfolk may lead a raid on goblins to ensure the safety of their citizens.
I mean, I do like that it's a creature, but you could have just had people fight a turkey because those things are terrifying and will mess you up.
I don't
honestly,
love that turkey, that's true.
honestly, in like a dire turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some real like.
But like I being in real life, I could not fight a turkey. Like if a
No.
turkey is attacking me, I'm done.
Goblin, small beast, neutral, evil. Let there be no mistakes. These are evil and must be destroyed. Armor class 14, natural armor, hit points 14, speed 30 foot, walk speed, fly speed 10 feet, but cannot hover.
Because it's a bird.
Yeah, he's a bird. A range of statistics, but they have a +4 to their stealth. They have dark vision to 60 to 60 feet.
No.
Their passive perception is 10. They speak common and foul. Wait, they speak common? Wait!
What?
Do
Hold
they
on.
have 8
They're
intelligence?
they're
What?
goblins. They're goblins. They're
speak.
not turkeys.
I
They
know.
are goblins.
I hadn't realized that earlier, though. They have
I
8
hadn't
intelligence, and they can
thought
speak.
about it.
Their languages are they can speak to you.
Ugh.
Also, you can speak to them if you just like swear and say filthy things because they
Give us
speak.
all your valuables.
Also, I liked your joke, Bean. I liked your joke.
Thank you.
Sorry.
They speak foul.
Yes, they speak foul.
But also, I really liked that voice.
Put the money in the bag.
I love how Thomas, like 10 minutes ago, I'm not doing a voice. Thomas, 10 minutes later.
Not for the... Yeah, you're right. Aggressive. Watch out, these goblins are aggressive. As a bonus action, the goblin can move up to its speed towards a creature it can see.
Oh boy.
Yep.
They're coming at you, and they're coming at you fast. Actions, peck. Melee weapon attack, +4 to hit, range 5 feet, 1 target, hit, 1d4 +2 piercing damage. Overall, though, fine. You know,
I mean, they could wield a rapier, it looks like.
I don't think so. They're not proficient in rapiers, I believe.
They tape razor blades to their tail,
Oh, goodness.
and then they whip
And
you
they
with
just
it.
spin.
Man, remember the combat wheelchair where it was like, some things can help you move around more freely. Other things are razor blades taped to your wheels. That was pretty
Other
sick.
things are a gun.
A gun.
This man has a gun.
Hobgoblin. Medium beast. Neutral.
Oh, no.
These are the size of a man.
Oh no.
Armor class 18, natural
Oh
armor.
gosh.
Hit points 17. Only 3 more than the goblin.
I think it should be I think it should be more. I think.
Well,
it should be
I think
30.
their challenge rating comes from their armor class.
Yeah, that's
They're
fair.
hard to kill.
That's right.
Yeah.
They are hard to hit.
Yeah.
30 feet speed, fly speed 10 feet, but cannot hover. +5 to stealth. 60 foot dark vision. Passive perception 10. Common and foul. Challenge rating of 1. Foul play. Once per turn, the hobgoblin can deal an extra 7, 2d6, damage to a creature it hits with a weapon attack if that creature is within 5 feet of an ally of the hobgoblin that isn't incapacitated.
That isn't capacitated.
You must have no capacity.
So
Okay.
when it hits you and it has a friend nearby, it gets extra damage. It's like
Yeah.
pack tactics, but instead of advantage, more damage.
Yeah. Okay.
Kinda. Sure. Attack.
Well, it's a thing that actually happens on hobgoblins.
Oh, you actually that is correct.
Yeah, that's
you got me there.
It's like the pseudo sneak attack ability that a lot of different monsters get.
I actually really like the hobgoblin player race, and I've played one before, and I want to play more. I like they have a weird ability about like the more friends you have nearby, the higher you can make a check that you failed or something. It's pretty.
It's like if you save face, I think it's called, or something
Yeah.
like
So
that.
basically, hobgoblins have that thing in anime where when they remember their friends,
Yes.
they're like,
Literally, yes, and
and
I
then
love
they
that.
do better.
I love that for them. Actions, multi-attack. The hobgoblin makes 2 peck attacks. Peck, melee weapon attack, +5 to hit, reach 5 feet, 1 target, 1d6 +3 piercing damage. But it also has gobble gobble. Has a recharge of 5 or 5 to 6, which a recharge ability is an ability that once used at the beginning of every turn, the creature rolls a d6, or the DM rolls a d6 for the creature. If it is one of if the number on the die is within the range presented in the recharge ability, then
they recharge.
they can use the ability again. If it is not,
Okay.
they cannot use the ability again until they roll that number. So like
Okay.
a lot of dragons, their breath weapons like a recharge 6 or whatever. Yeah. So they don't get to use it every turn most of the time, but sometimes if they get lucky, they can use it just like every turn.
Yikes.
The hobgoblin releases an ear-splitting bwak bwak. Bwak bwak! Each creature within 30 feet of the hobgoblin must succeed on a DC 11 Constitution saving throw or take 4d6 thunder damage.
Oh, jeez.
I gotta say, these creatures
Yeah.
are better puns than we've ever made.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Am I wrong?
You're making Bean cry.
I have no major comments.
But these are very good puns.
They're good puns.
Has it bothered anyone else that I've refused to say it any other way than Gobblin?
No,
No,
I've
no,
made their-
obviously it's
I
meant
was
to
gonna,
be done that way.
I was gonna compliment the fact that,
That's how
that
it's
you have
pronounced.
managed to distinguish the pronunciation.
If I was listening to another person doing this episode, I would appreciate but also hate them for committing to that bit.
Yeah.
But that's who I am. I gotta be true to myself.
That is what bits are for a simultaneous appreciation and hatred at the same time. The
Yeah.
delicious quandary.
Yes, precisely. So, when you make your Torkai adventuring group, which, as the Torkai block says, at least every adventuring group has at least one.
Yeah, it's ruled.
That's the rules as written. You gotta go out and fight some goblins and hobgoblins.
And
Would
just
that
give them
be
a real
weird?
existential crisis.
Yeah, would that be weird for a Torkai to fight a goblin?
Well, no, because these aren't.
What kind of creatures do they say
They
they are?
don't speak Turkai.
They're beasts.
They're beasts. So
Yeah,
here's
they're
the thing,
beasts.
though. I see goblins and hobgoblins not as like turkeys. That they're not like a dire turkey or a wild Torkai. They're
yeah,
like
yeah.
those caterpillars that look like snakes. You know,
Kind of.
Also,
they're
I
like a
would
creature
argue-
that looks like a turkey.
I would argue that it is more similar because they can speak. Because they
that's
have
right.
intelligence and they can speak. I would argue it's
But
more of a
also,
Planet of the Apes situation.
Like,
where they're sort of like like if I went out and I just started attacking like sentient speaking monkeys.
okay, I feel like the things we have to consider here are, if it's just the nature of like, wow, would it be so uncomfortable for you to fight a species that's so similar to your own? Like, humans fight humans. Like,
But that's not the same.
That's not weird.
That's not
but
the
if
same.
you're just going out and going, I'm just gonna murder a bunch of creatures for XP, like, I think you deserve whatever moral discomfort you experience.
That's actually the ultimate balancing mechanic in D&D, which doesn't get brought up nearly enough. Moral discomfort.
Yeah. I'm definitely the kind of person who every time I go, I'm gonna do an evil playthrough, I get to the first choice and I'm like, I don't like how it feels to be mean.
But I would feel so bad.
I mean, I think that these creatures are, generally speaking, on an evil... I mean, and, you know, we have our own thoughts about the inherent
Yeah.
These
alignment.
are neutral evil as written.
But they tend to be evil, so I'm guessing that you wouldn't just go out and look for them. If you had a Torkai in your party, and then, like, goblins and hobgoblins came and attacked you, the Torkai would be like, well, these guys attacked us. You know, like, it wouldn't
Yeah,
matter.
of course.
When you're
It would be like there are ape stat blocks
When-
in the monster manual.
And not only apes, elves look like humans. When you're a human and you're walking along and like either other humans or human adjacent creatures attack your party, you're not like, whoa.
That's
they
true.
look like.
When
You're
it's-
like, wow, ouch.
Wow,
Okay.
you could be my brother.
You Whoa,
like me,
monkey,
but-
you could like be my cousin, man.
He's like me, but hairy and pointy. You know, like, you just fight him.
Monkey.
hairy and pointy.
I guess with the humanoid races, it's not like it doesn't come up in your brain nearly as much. But the funny thing is, it is like when I picture a turtle. If it was like our town is being attacked by a giant aggressive tortoise, and your party of all turtles is there, I feel like there would be a moment, right, where you'd be like, "That's a little."
Well,
awkward
sorry.
for us."
Four turtles and one were-rat.
One
I
where,
think,
yes, of course.
I think the thing that's actually the root of the weirdness is more the fact that one of these is classified as like a playable race, and
Yeah.
the other one is like a beast,
Yes.
even though they're
Both
kind of the
capable
same.
of speech.
But if you think about like in real life, it's like most people, like most humans, don't think of apes as also people. Like we think of them as very smart beasts,
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
they are in another category, so it's probably similar to that. The difference being none of the beasts in our world can speak to you,
Well,
which
I will
makes
say-
it much weirder.
Coco the gorilla can do
Also,
sign
parrots
language.
can
Well,
talk. That
She
you
can.
know?
She can do. This is
Now
actually
there's
something I've
something
studied a little bit. She can. She can do sign language, but it's always like simple things. Like if you start
no, of
asking
course.
her abstract questions, she doesn't know what you're talking
Of
about.
course.
And like,
I'm not
parrots-
arguing. Yeah.
Parrots literally like speak English to your face.
Yeah, the thing
Now
is,
that
even
being
though it's
said, I
just-
know several people who've never learned sign language in their life, so Coco's automatically smarter than them. But
I think
Well,
I think
maybe.
Mercy brings up a good point though, in that of course we don't think of parrots as like speaking in the sense of a human being
And we don't
because
think of
they're
them as
mimicking,
humans, as
but
people.
they do just speak your language.
It's
And that is a little weird. Has
That's
anyone
why they
noticed
scare
that?
me, guys. I actually am really uncomfortable
Like
around
parrots,
words that talk.
parrots can speak common.
So I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
like
throw
it.
this. I just want to throw this out there. So we're talking about this, but like in D&D, there are beasties and monsters like trolls or giants or other things that kind of
That's
are like
true.
humans. And
Dragons.
but your choice as a player does impact that. Every now and then, you might see a giant who's being aggressive, and the party might look at each other and go, maybe he's just misunderstood. And go,
That's
like,
true.
try to talk to him.
You're right,
And I think
that
one of the
does-
things that does set it apart with, like, a turtle or a Torkai or whatever is that, for the most part, most creatures look pretty human. Whereas, unlike what the Torkai thing says,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Torkai are a relatively rare... They're not as common.
Yeah.
And so
Oh no,
if you
they're
see...
in every party.
We have one
if
in the
you
room
see
right now.
a very... Hey, Steve, you're getting our food, right? Because that's your only job.
Of course.
He's not underwater. Help me, I'm under the water.
He's trapped.
Sorry guys, I was just tasting the broth I was making. I really put my head in there. I was just tasting that. But you guys like me like more than just my cooking, right? Like I'm friends with you guys.
B,
for my
who is this
fighting.
character? Who is this surfer man?
This is Steve, my Torkai friend. He's joined my party.
All right, well,
Well,
this
as I've been
episode
off
could have
adventuring.
ended 20 minutes ago.
Whatever. Look, sometimes you yes and
This is really good.
into a pit of despair. But what
I
I,
feel
was
like we
trying to
had.
say.
I feel like we had.
Can that be our first shirt? Sometimes you yes and into a pit of despair.
I feel like we had 4 different like Torkai voices we were doing over the course of this episode, and each of us kept saying that we had brought a friend who was a Torkai. So I feel
Everyone was like, "I'll be the Torkai."
There's another party of Torkai in the room.
We're
just
all friends
here.
with them.
They
Well,
have
like
a
you
table.
didn't bring us. Like we came together.
Who
Who are
here
you?
already?
I think actually, if to look for inspiration for like homebrewing or DMing, for how to deal with like inherent like alignment in different races and things, I actually think The Witcher does a really good and interesting job with their world building. Where
Like the game specifically.
yeah, I know I haven't read the book, so I
Yeah.
can't speak to that. And this isn't dealt with really that much in the show, from what I remember. But in the games, the monsters who don't speak, who like aren't intelligent, tend to be more like they're like a feral predator.
Like an
And
animal.
Right.
Yeah.
they're just like a dangerous animal you have to kill when you find ghouls because they will kill you.
But every once in a while, there's some side quest where it's like, you normally kill wyverns, but this guy is like, actually, the wyvern population's getting really low, and we kind of need to keep this mating pair separate, kind of like gray wolves.
Sure.
And
That's
it's
like its own conservation.
so I'm just saying, even with wild animals, the game treats them with some nuance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's not just always murder.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas things like trolls in the game, who are they're sort of like probably like 8 intelligence or
Yeah.
a little lower, where they're like kind of dumb and like simple, but they do speak and they are sentient, and sometimes you come across a troll and they like the taste of humans. So it's like sometimes you come across a troll and they're just like camped outside a bridge and are just like murdering everyone who passes by, so you have to like fight them and kill them because they're murdering everyone. But sometimes you meet a troll and there's been a misunderstanding, or they live here and they eat cattle, and well, they got in a fight with this guy because he attacked them, so then he ate them because what is just gonna go to waste, and you're like, this guy's not evil, he's just a troll,
He's just
but
a
he's
dude.
not evil. And it's like where they have agency, and you can't. And I like that it doesn't really present it as like, wow, what a crazy exception, this one troll was good. Like, you as Geralt understand that like any sentient being has
Can be
agency
good or
and
evil.
choices, and I think that I don't think that is built into D&D 5e. I don't think that's how the monster manual really like intends to function, because it does just give like intelligent dragons like alignments depending on what kind they are.
Yeah.
But I think as a DM or as someone who is like creating your own homebrew monsters, that is a way you could look at approaching it.
Definitely. But I like to imagine the Torkai is like, we should talk to these goblins. What do you want? We want to murder you. Okay, no, yeah.
Yeah, we can get rid of these guys.
Yeah, we can kill these
We
ones.
gotta kill these guys.
We love murder. Okay, yep. These ones, no good.
Nah, these guys. Look at that guy. He has green smoke coming out of his nose.
How does
That's
he
a
even
good
do
sign.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
With that, we'll end the episode. Travelers, let us know what you think of the Torkai race and the Gobblins and Hobgoblins. I just like the inherent miscommunication that could bring up in like a quest where they're like, our town's being raided by goblins, and like, oh, we fought a lot of goblins, and like, oh, really good, and then you show up as turkeys, and you're
just
like,
turkeys.
what
But
are
they're
you
turkeys
talking
holding
about?
knives with like
Turkeys
blood
with
dripping down their
guns. Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
All yelling about how they want
And
to
then,
murder you.
well, then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I guess it's just a bunch of turkeys. We can get them out. And then they're like, this is a stick up. And you're like,
And then we reenact the Great Emu War of Australia.
yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
They're sentient. Maybe they can be reasoned with. Well, I just think some people are inherently better than other people.
Oh,
okay,
no.
we're killing them.
No. Nope.
No, they're the worst. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think of these, this playable race and these monster stat blocks below. And travelers, make sure you have a good and safe and healthy Thanksgiving, if that's a thing you celebrate. And if it's not a thing you celebrate, that's fine too. Be safe and be healthy out there this week, no matter where
Mostly
you're at.
here's the thing, guys, if we can be like for real for a moment.
Yeah, for real.
Like everyone thinks that their individual holiday or their individual event is like worth it and will be fine and it won't happen to their family, but it does. We've experienced it personally in our own friends and families. Just please don't. It's not
Stay
worth the
safe.
risk.
Just stay safe.
I have one more thing I want to give thanks for, Thomas.
Oh, the final thanks shall be given.
Well, travelers, I just wanted to give thanks to you. If you've been listening to this, thanks. If you've gotten through this whole episode, congratulations.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And I know we've said this a couple times, but we really appreciate you guys, and it's so cool to know that, like, there are people out there who listen, and, you know, we'll see things like on Twitter that people are like, hey, this podcast is underappreciated, and it just makes our absolute day.
Yeah, we've been riding the high of that tweet for months.
Yeah, we love you guys, and thank you so much for sending stuff and for listening, and we just really appreciate you, and please feel free to send us any more stuff that you want us to review.
And tell your friends
Tell
about
your
our
friends.
channel.
And remember to like and subscribe to the channel for future Dungeons & Dragons Homebrew Discussion content. Remember to, if you have a homebrew, email it to us at our email, thecopperfoxinn@gmail.com, or on social media @thecopperfoxinn, or comment it below this video. And until next time, keep on adventuring.
Bye.
Keep on gobbling.
Oh no, guys.
There are
Remember that scratch I got on my arm while we were saving Mercy? I don't think it was a normal turkey. I think it was a were-turkey.
Wait, what's the rhyme? What's the rhyme to tell if it's a Torkai or a goblin? It's if it's 6 feet tall.
Black on yellow can,
Yeah.
No, it's the green smoke. It's the green
If
smoke.
it's a Torkai, you're not gonna die.
6 feet tall, friend of all.
Oh, there
Smoke
it is.
from nose, kill those hoes.
Yep, that was it.
That's it. That's the end. Thanks. The end. Smoke those.
Smoke from the nose, kill those hoes.
Gross. Thank you. I hate it.